浮世の風景は幾千年も変わらないというのに、人の世とはこうも白露と泡のように儚い。はっひゅっはっ。
今は無料のコーヒーにすら期待でき
裁きの雷直律流。
はっ、そこだ。みんながそばにいてくれるわ。雲が借りなく
来光意図美しきかな。直律流。逃げ道は直。
それ、全力攻撃だ。風の雲
律流。
風よ。はっ、
振動の剣が。
それ。
呪言直。
それ、そこだ。みんなは俺が守れ。せい。マイル。いざ行こう。
見切りました。律流呪言。
くらえ。全力攻撃だ。風よ。ふっ。よし、出発だ。冒険だ冒険。よし、出発だ。
ターゲットは絞れた。面白きことを。
星とし 無事キョン。
律令呪言直。律令呪言裁きの雷。はい雲が仮な
燃えろ。みんなは俺が守る。
来光意図美しきか稲光すなわち永遠なりやせってて
風はっ天に召せ。風の歌雲の行くごと全力攻撃だ。天に召せ。全員どけ。
直律令直。
はっふっ天に召せ。吹き飛べ。はっ前せいそこだ。みんなは俺が守る。全員どけ。はっはっふっとこんにちはちはっ前はっはっ全員どけ。またかわせなかった。みんながそばにいてせいやっはっ風よそこ天に召せ。全員どけ。はっ天に召せ。吹き飛べ。いてみんなは俺がはっせいねっはっ全員どけ。吹き飛べ。風よそこだ。いてや雲が借りなく時くらい。よし出発だ。よし出発だ。
呪言律令呪言直律令呪言見切りました。律令直
前はっふっみんながそばにいてくれるわ。はっそれはっ
有限なるライト、ここより弱滅の時。はっ
風の行く先を
律令直律令逃げ道はありません。ふっ
風よはっせい
呪言律令直裁きの呪言直律令
はっはっふっ全力攻撃だ。もう風のようだ雲の行くごと
神道の権限。へっへっへっ直律令呪言見切りました。律令呪言
いざ参るせいへっへみんなは俺が風にふっもみちばちら
無我の境地。ふっふっせっふっふっふっ律令呪言律令裁きの呪言律令
はっ燃えろみんながそばにいるはっ参るはっ風の雲に
有限なるライト、稲光すなわち永遠なり。呪言律令
せい騒ぐな。風よふっくらえ。
ほっはっふっせい光り輝くがいい。
静粛に。褒美を垂れろ。
前はっ燃えろ。雲が仮みんながそばにいてくれるわ。傷なんていらん。
ほっ歌え僕の生もと。
討伐となるがいい。
世界を熱狂の渦に。
風よそこ全力攻撃だ。くらいもみちろち
高き私は下げず。静粛に。
しはっふっ行こう。それはっよっそれしいいさ。行こう。いいさ。ほっ
呪言直呪言。 るじゃない。極寒のせい？それとも恐怖？律令直。
風よ燃えろ。ねいやみんなは俺が守れ。せはっはっはっはっ心配無用。雲が借りなく時俺燃えろ。
律令。氷の巨峰の王よ。邪魔させない。裁きの雷。やっ
風よ全力攻撃だ。
神道の権限。無我の境地。はっせはっせふっせふったはっ逃げ道はありません。せやっ
マイヤはっはっよし出発だ。やよっ
呪言律令。
せはっ
裁きの雷。直呪言直。
風よみんなは俺が守れ。燃え風雲のはっはっふっ
逃げ道はありません。ひゅっここより弱滅の時。せっふっはっしっはっやっ
風よはっくらえマイ
律令直。
せへ風よふっよっうわっ全力攻撃だ。燃えろ。お道が散らまく惜しみ。
来光意図美しきかな。律令直。律燃え見切り。救済はいらないの。ひゅっ
あれ、あそこに。なるほど。つまりこの予告。
そんなの当たり前だ。言ったろ、怪盗マーテンは型破りな行動しか取らない。10年前に死んだあれは怪盗マーテンが今こうして再び現れて、当初から奴を追っていた警察隊もさぞ頭をな。
同感です。きっとものすごいニュースがインタビューにお答えいただきありがとうございました。次の方に移りますね。あら、奇遇ね。君たちもここにいたなんて。ちょうどよかった。ではでは、お二方。なんだそれ。あれ、あ、ごめんごめん。それではこの私、十数年前マーテンを名乗る盗賊がフォンテーヌ邸で活動していた。すごいぞ。おいらがそうなのよ。ね、例えば大商人が金庫に隠した高価なネックレスなんかだけでなく、一般人の子供がでしょ。小説なんかに出てくる怪盗は普通弱き者を助けるけど、彼はお構いなしよ。じゃあそいつは捕まったとは言えないかも。10年前セサルっていう名前の魔術師が高所から警察隊が遺品を整理したところ、彼の家からはセサルの死と同時に窃盗事件の数も一気に減ったわ。でもまさか今朝集まってきた人の群れを抜けてすぐに写真。これがその予告状か。どれ、3日後の夜歌劇場へ君の最も大切なもの。これはもう疑う余地もなく正真正銘の犯。ことはやっぱりそう簡単に解決してはいなかったのね。他人の大切なものを盗む怪盗って、まずいぞ。もしかしたら本当か。絶対そいつの思い。なるほど。というわけで予告状の写真、街頭インタビューの記録。そうだ、独占秘話が足りない。次は誰をインタビューしちゃおうかしら。怪盗と関係がありそうな人はいないかな。あら、リネか。魔術師セサル、怪盗マーテン。そうだ、リネだってほら、10年前に怪盗マーテンとみなされた人物は。おい、なんだよ。気にしない気にしない。独占記事が私を待ってるって予感がする。
Wow, Mr. Magician! How did you know which card I picked?
Oh, it's simple. Come closer and I'll let you in on my secret. Magicians have a special skill called telepathy.
Really? Then, what am I thinking now?
Well, first you need to relax, because I can see that you're clenching your fist in your mind, as if to say,
Aww.
and now you're getting a little flustered. You're trying to find a way to empty your mind, to think of nothing. You snuck out from home today, didn't you? You told your family a little lie so you could come out and play.
You can tell? Oh boy.
Of course. Oh, and that's the end of my performance. You should...
All right, got it.
Hey, Lenny?
Why, hello. We meet again. Are you looking for me? What's the situation?
Well, why don't you guess, Mr. Telepathic?
Oh, please. You didn't believe that spiel, did you? The power of telepathy is quite beyond me.
I'm sure that child would beg to differ.
Seemed like he...
That was nothing more than a little trickery. I made an educated guess based on his that, plus the fact that he was the only kid here without his parents, and he looked as guilty as sin. You guys, on the other hand... Let me guess. Don't tell me you're here for the Phantom Weasel.
Wow! Got it in one!
Wait, really? No trickery this time. His warning letter's been the talk of the town, so I figured that maybe you were...
Bingo! I plan on writing a column reporting on the... So, Lenny, what are your thoughts on this infamous thief?
Angry?
You read his letter, right? The Phantom Weasel claims he's planning something in 3 nights...
What are the chances? Wait a minute, you don't think he's...
Well, if he is, then his warning is clearly a direct challenge. And if he's not, then it's still... The mere mention of the Weasel's name is enough to scare people off. So once the contents of that... But I've been preparing for this for a long time. I'm not about to let him ruin my big day. This...
Really? So what you're saying is, we might get to see a live
To be honest, I'm not sure if I'll emerge the victor.
You're being far too modest, Lenny. I think your magic trick...
Thanks for the compliment, though I have to say, I don't care much for the comparison. A lot of people liken magicians to thieves because we both have the ability to make things disappear without the person noticing. Allow me to demonstrate with a quick magic trick. Here, I have a flower, just an ordinary flower that was picked not long ago. Watch it carefully now. 3, 2, 1.
It's good!
That's the question. Where did it go? Therein lies the difference between us. Thieves make precious things disappear, but only magicians make them reappear. If I could now invite you all to check your clothes, there might be a surprise in there somewhere.
A surprise? Let me see! It's right there! But how? You haven't moved this whole time!
What an outstanding trick! Sorry, Lenny, it seems that my previous praise was...
Don't worry, I didn't take offense. I just wanted to take the opportunity to... Since Caesar's death, a lot of people associate...
I can imagine. Coming back to your trick just now, might I... For example, magicians often use rainbow roses in their flower-related performances, but you used a Lumidu spell, which, if I'm not mistaken, allude to...
Impressive knowledge. It's no wonder you're such a successful journalist. But I'm afraid I don't know the... It sounds like something I should look into, though. I'll buy myself a copy of Fontaine...
Well noted. In that case, this brings us to the end of our interview. Please feel free to get in touch to update me on any further developments. Otherwise, I will of course see you at your show in 3 days' time. But if there's nothing else, I'll be off. You've given me lots to work with here, and I've got no time to lose if I want to write that...
So, Lenny, are you gonna tell us how you...
I'm afraid that...
Well, magicians are entitled to their secrets. But Paimon's really itching to... You feel it too, right? So itchy!
Not so itchy then, huh? Well, since you're so concerned, how would you like to...
Magician's assistants? Oh, that sounds fun! Assistants are technically magicians. Also, it'll bring us one step closer to figuring out how that darn trick is done. Shall we go for it?
Excellent. Thank you for putting your trust in moi. The first thing we need to look into is who Caesar really was. If he truly was the but if he wasn't the weasel? Well, that'll make things more interesting. And if we're investigating Caesar, his fiancée Gemma is a good place to start. We should make a move. Let's...
You took your time.
Sorry, I bumped into the Traveler and Charlotte on...
It's been a while, Lynette. We're working as Lenny's temporary assistants in the investigation.
Thank you. It's good to have you helping.
So, what's the situation? Have you seen Gemma?
Nope. I've been here a while, and she's...
How bizarre. Maybe it was bad intel. Well, we won't get anywhere by standing around waiting. Excuse me, good...
Gemma? You mean Caesar's fiance?
I'm just trying to get a hold of her because I need her help with something.
Yeah, she does. Poor. Ever since Caesar passed away, she's been coming here once every week to clean his grave. I asked her what she was doing once. She said she knows he's gone and can't hear her from the grave, but she just likes to spend time there.
And she's been doing this ever since Caesar passed away?
I'll bet. Caesar's reputation fell apart after his identity was revealed, so no one else visits his grave. Gemma's... I don't know if the mind lives on in the waters after death, but if it does, if I'm honest, I think this is all so unfair to poor Gemma. Her fiancé was a lowlife. Anyway, all of that said, she's running later than usual today. Well, that's everything I know, I'm afraid.
All right, well, thanks for sharing all of this with...
You're welcome.
Did you hear the news? They're saying the Phantom Weasel's back.
You're kidding.
I don't know anymore. All sorts of news flying around, but what if? Just hypothetically, I mean. What?
Called it. Seriously, 10 years ago, on the day it all went down, I said to myself, you know what? This guy's been set up.
Oh, please. Weren't you the one cursing his name to high heaven when the police announced...
Wait, did I say that? I don't seem to recall.
Hello there. Sorry for disturbing you, but we're actually quite interested in this topic as well, but we're struggling to get to the bottom of it.
You've come to the right people. Yep. He was a great magician. The best trick I ever saw him do was pop a trance. I was right up close and didn't blink or look away once. But for the life of me...
I saw him perform too. He always used to bring some gifts along for the kids who came to watch his show. Sometimes he even got the kids to write their wishes down, and then he'd make... But after he died, there were also rumors that he used the wish list to find out what was precious to people. As I'm sure you know, the Phantom Weasel would steal just about anything from any...
Whatever the case, now that the Weasel is back, Caesar's become a hot topic. I bet Gemma must be pleased. If Caesar's name gets cleared, maybe it'll find... No, speak of the devil. That's her over there. If you've got any more questions about Caesar, she's definitely the one to ask.
So that's Gemma. Wait. It looks like she...
Who's asking?
Don't be afraid, we mean no harm. It looks like you're injured.
Thanks for your concern. But you didn't answer my question.
My name is Linny, and this is my sister Lynette.
My name's Paimon, and this here's the Traveler. We're investigating the Phantom Weasel.
The Weasel posted a warning letter this morning. If he still lives, that means that Caesar was falsely accused. You knew Caesar better than anyone else. So if you're willing, we'd love to hear what you think about... I promise you can trust us. We won't hurt you. In fact, we'll do all we can to keep you safe.
I never believed that he was the Weasel.
Huh. I suspected as much. Okay, so going back 10 years, do you remember...
No.
Got it. All right.
If you don't have any more questions, please leave.
Judging by the look on her face, there's definitely something
She's lying. She definitely knows something.
That's fair. We're just a bunch of strangers who showed up and start... In any case, I doubt we'll get any further here, so let's call it a day. over here.
Lynette's not joining us today?
I've had her follow Gemma and see if we can make any inroads with her. They should be at a... Still, I don't think that Gemma's likely to open up to us. Today, we'll be looking into a guy named Lorenzo. When Caesar passed away, all the stolen goods discovered in his home were confiscated and returned to their rightful owner. Before long, Lorenzo was the next big magician in town, his fame surpassing even that of his master, and it made... I had to pull a lot of strings, but I managed to get him to agree to a couple of drinks with me.
You neglected to mention that you were bringing 2 other people with you.
My apologies. These 2 are my assistants. When they heard that I was meeting with the former Magic Maestro himself, they begged and pleaded with me to bring them along.
Oh, forget the pleasantries, just sit.
Get a load of this guy. Forget the pleasantries, he says, but he looks pretty happy about Lenny stroking his ego.
I only agreed to meet since we're both magicians. Do me a favor and cut to the chase. I have more important things to do than drinking.
Much obliged, sir. As it happens, yesterday morning, a warning letter from the Phantom Weasel appeared on the entrance to the Opera House. He claims to be planning something for the same evening that I'm scheduled to do. I have to get to the bottom of this to ensure that my show can go ahead as planned. Naturally,
What is there to investigate? Caesar was the Weasel and he's been dead for 10 years. So what if some sick creep thought it'd be funny to write a warning letter? It changes nothing. Are you trying to tell me you actually bought it?
Please, sir, no need to get so worked up. I do concede that a copycat is...
Possibility? It's a fact, Lenny. Look, my patience is limited, so listen carefully. The Weasel is dead. Period. Everyone knows that, so do yourself a favor and quit this investigation. It'll lead you nowhere. Look, if this affects your magic show in any way, I will personally compensate you for any losses.
Oh, sir, I'm honored, really. But this isn't about finances for me. My pride as a magician is what's at stake here, Lorenzo. Copycat or not, this person has thrown me the gauntlet, and I must meet their challenge head-on.
Your pride? Don't mince words with me, boy. Just tell me what exactly are...
I want to find out the Phantom Weasel's true identity. I have to...
What would that accomplish? And what do the events of 10 years ago have to do with you, anyway? Look, you of all people should know that a magician never reveals their secrets. And in any case...
Uh-oh. This is getting...
Lorenzo? Is that? Oh, it is you!
Another day, I'm busy.
Oh, come on! You can't be all business all the time.
If I wanted your life advice, I'd ask for it. Now get out of my face and go...
Sorry, my good sir. I don't believe I've had the pleasure.
Oh, hey! This is your first time meeting him? Oh, he's always like this. Foul-mouthed and hard. And he wonders why he can't get a girlfriend, despite being, what, pushing 40, 30-something? Anyway, point is, a lot.
Shut up and get out of my face. Another word out of you and you can forget about doing business with me ever again.
Sorry, I may have had a little...
I think it's high time I made a move as well. If you really want to investigate this, Lenny, be my guest. But if nothing good comes of it, don't say I didn't warn you.
Well, that fell to pieces in a rather spectacular...
Totally. And what was all that about compensating you for your losses? He's gotta be hiding something. And not like Gemma. She was a...
I think so too. We need to look into Lorenzo more. That guy Edmondo seems to know a thing or two about him. You okay there?
Who are you? Oh, it's you guys. Don't worry about me. I said way too much back there, didn't I? Yeah, I nearly talked myself into complete...
So, he was serious about threatening to cut you off?
Hey! Don't go prying into Lorenzo's personal affairs.
What kind of bad thing?
Don't even ask. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to... And take it from me, trouble with Lorenzo is one thing you don't need in your life. You saw him flare up back there. I don't know what you said. That's not a good sign. You're...
And there he goes.
Shh. I think we're being watched. Someone was listening in to our whole conversation. Don't say anything and don't look back. Any altercation in the city will attract the guards. We'd better take this elsewhere. You followed us a long way. Why don't you come out and introduce yourselves?
So you're Linny. And where's your sister? Ain't she with you today? Save us the trouble and go fetch her for us. Let's not drag this out.
Paimon doesn't like the tone of your voice, mister! Who sent you?
Save your questions, missy. You ain't gonna need answers where you're going.
Looks like we can't avoid this fight. Now, I'm not the strongest fighter, so I hope you're ready to back me up.
Don't worry, we got
Shine down!
Curses. They're tougher than we thought.
Vision wielders are always trouble. Intimidation ain't gonna work.
Come on, let's scram!
Hey, wise guys! We ain't through with them! Oh, they got away! Did you catch what that sounds like? They just wanted to rough us up as a scare tactic. And they've already... You're right! She was injured when we saw her yesterday, and maybe she was too scared to tell us the truth.
Well, if that's the case, she should be more willing to open up to us once she learns. Let's head back to the cafe and see if we can...
There is no escape!
Gemma?
You again. What is it this time?
We just ran into the men who've been threatening you, and we gave them a taste of their own medicine, so you can relax.
What? Why? I didn't tell you anything. Why would they come after you?
Sounds like they're no strangers to you.
That's putting it mildly. I know them all too well. It's been 10 long years. And still, every time I try to look into Caesar's death, they show up and warn. How do I know I can trust you? Do you really?
I'm afraid I can't reveal all the details just yet, but I can promise you this. I will expose the Phantom Weasel's true identity because, you see, this is a personal...
Okay.
I've heard that Caesar used to have a magic workshop where he kept a lot of his personal effects. If possible, I'd like to take a look at them. Do you know where it is?
The Fleuve Cendre. But the place was sealed up by the police. I also know that the Fleuve Cendre is dangerous territory. Lots of hot...
Understood. Lynette, you stay here and take care of Gemma. Don't let her come to harm.
Got it. But if I'm staying here, I'm ordering dessert.
I mean, bon appetit. But stay sharp, too.
Okay. All right. Power saving mode off. I'll start.
If Gemma gave us the right location, then the workshop should be right nearby. Huh. Looks like these boxes... There we go. It Hip.
So this was Caesar's workshop. Nothing suspicious here, just normal magic props. Let's head in further. What was that? Oh, is this one of Caesar's gadgets? Guess we must have triggered some sort of device.
Emerge.
Off we go!
Whoa. Look. The doll in the box is glowing. There's something written on the card on this doll. Let's take a closer look.
disappear.
Looks like we've reached the end of this route. Shall we try a different one? These magic boxes are moving. What do we do?
One of them looks different from the rest. Let's investigate.
That's weird. Have we reached the end already? There's nothing here. Maybe this was a wasted trip.
This place seems a little too ordinary for a magician's workshop. We've triggered quite a few devices on the way here. If so, then there must be more to this place than meets the eye. Maybe, aha!
A secret passageway!
I'm a magician too, and apparently Great looks pretty big inside.
Illusion shattered!
Stay calm, stay calm. Step right up.
Right now, emerge.
Now disappear! A round of applause!
Why have you stopped, Lenny?
It just looks familiar somehow. Let me check this out for a second while you guys go. If anyone makes a major discovery, let's rendezvous.
All right, see you.
At one of my shows a few days ago, a child asked me how I pulled candy out of my... As a joke, I told the kid that the hat has a built-in wish-granting machine. Next thing I know, today... So I told them another white lie. The machine needs time to power up, but in the meantime, you can write your wishes down. Well, I wound up saving very little this month, but that's not a major issue. 2 children came to talk to me after today's show. I don't know why they were out on their own. Anyway, they said that they wanted me to teach them how to do magic. It's not uncommon. I told them that learning magic is very hard work, but that didn't faze them at all. It's like they... It seems like something's bothering Lorenzo lately. Surely he's not upset that I agreed to teach those 2 I have a good feeling about those kids. They're naturally talented, and it seems like they're not... They have all sorts of fantastic ideas. All I'm really doing is helping them develop a more professional standard training plan. They wanted to call me Master, but I told them they absolutely mustn't. Any magician worth their salt could have... With time, I have no doubt that they could become far greater magicians than I. My only... Gemma thinks so too. She doesn't like being around them. Says that their eyes are... It's nearly time for me to go on tour. I once overheard them talking about their father and their mission. Sounds like it's only been 10 days since I first met them, but I think they're very tough, but also very cautious. And they trust no one. They hide things from me too. For example, when I ask them where they live, that's the thing about children. Whenever they're trying to cover, I can sense that their lives have been hard. Possibly even dangerous. After thinking things over, I decided to tell them a bit. P.S. I hope they won't find my nagging annoying. Children are P.P.S. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Oh, Caesar.
2 magic geniuses with a father and a mission, huh? Sounds a lot like he was writing about lineage. So did they meet Caesar when they...
Hold that thought.
Fishy?
All in good time. Before we go over our new leads, I want to tell you how first, the magician slots themselves into a magic box in full view of the... At this point, a dummy will fall out of the box, but it looks real enough to... Meanwhile, the real magician, who has by now blended into the crowd, waits for a good moment to make... Oh no! Is that me?
Very vivid description. Paimon can really...
The audience's gaze then turns to the magician, and by the time they realize what's happened, of course, that's just how I think the process should... The inventor of this trick never performed it successfully. When the box opened, Caesar was the one who fell out. He fell right to the ground from the highest point of the opera house. And no one else has ever attempted this trick since. My understanding of how it works is just based on what it could...
So Caesar's famous high-altitude escape has never been done, huh? Paimon was about to say how cool it would have been to see it in person, but if it's that dangerous... Wait a second. So if a dummy's supposed to drop out of the box, then where does the real magician go? How does he get out?
Glad you asked. That brings us to the secret of said box. This box right here is the one that Caesar constructed himself to use in the performance, and it's not as simple as it looks. Inside, there's a device that only the magician himself... Once the magician's inside, and the box is lifted up into the air, the audience's view... From where they're standing, they have a clear view of the front, sides, and bottom. At this point, the magician presses a button inside the box. He then escapes through this trapdoor onto the opera house roof, waits for the dummy to fall and distract...
That's way simpler than Paimon imagined.
Well, there's a little more to it than that, of course. The hardest part of this trick is controlling the audience. There's the falling dummy, the miraculous reappearance, the pompous performing. Maybe the magician would even have themselves tied up before it begins. Many days and nights of careful research and painstaking practice would have gone into this, all culminating in a performance just a few minutes long, but one that still manages to Caesar was a highly accomplished magician. But
So, how did it go so wrong? You said you found some fishy stuff here. Have you figured out what really happened?
I can make a pretty... I looked into the case files. The magic box Caesar was using at the time of his death had the secret button I mentioned.
Okay.
But here's the strange thing. Most of the devices in this workshop have the mechanism on the left-hand side, including this box right here, which lead because a magician can't afford to have their most basic habits stand out to. But a magician needs to be able to redirect an audience's attention. At the essence of magic is getting people to believe a lie. If even the truth raises eyebrows, the falsehoods become all the more difficult to mask. And so, Caesar trained himself to use his right hand to align with his audience's expectations. But in his most stressful and nerve-wracking moments, and when no one was watching, reflex would kick in and he'd use his left hand. Exactly. I think that's likely what happened. Caesar would have been under a lot of time pressure during the escape. He'd have had mere seconds to open the hidden compartment, retrieve, but I'm sure he was confident. He would have rehearsed countless times to the point where it was So he opened the compartment, took out the dummy, checked everything was in order, and then went to leave. With his... Much like when you reach for your keys but find your pocket empty, his mind needed a moment to Instinctively, his left hand would keep feeling around for the missing button, maybe for another second or two. With the stakes being as high as they were, just a 2-second delay cost him everything. The authorities would find nothing suspicious and conclude that...
But in reality, someone switched the boxes. But how would they be able to make the switch without being noticed?
It would have to have been someone who knew that he was left-handed and who could move his props around without arousing suspicion. Someone... Isn't that right, Lorenzo?
You just couldn't let sleeping dogs lie, could you? There's not a lot of people who'd go to all this trouble for some magician who died 10 years ago. I didn't want to have to do this, you know. Silencing you the hard way just creates more problems for me to deal with. But I gave you your chance. I hoped you'd do what's good for you and back off like the...
You mean Gemma? So you are the...
Yes, although however stubborn she might be, she was never much of a liability, which is why you can't leave this place alive. Take them out, and make it quick.
Do your...
Shine down! Right now, right here. Emerge.
One with nature.
I'm always watching. Right now.
Wind Strider. And voila!
Had enough yet, Lorenzo? Your cronies can't help you now. I think it's high time you started talking. And what I'd really like to know is, why did you murder Caesar?
If I had a mora for every time you said that man's name. Of course you idolized Caesar. Everyone else did. He was just an amateur who did cheap tricks for gullible children. I was the one who made magic into the...
So it was jealousy.
Jealousy. Hatred, more like. He poured everything into his street performances and his stupid tours like it was just a hobby to him. Never bought, but the people loved him, didn't they? Oh, how they looked up to him. Amazing. Yeah, so amazing that he was completely broke. Every other apprentice was living it up at their master's expense, but no, not me. I put in all the work, mastered all the skills, and he forbade me from using magic to trick people out of their mora. There was nothing he hated more than that. And with his reputation in Fontaine, it was too risky for me to go it alone. As long as he was alive, I had to kill him. There was no other way.
And this was your only motive?
It was reason enough. What other...
Well, I was under the impression that there might have been other factors at play.
In love with Gemma, don't be ridiculous.
Guess I was wrong about that then.
I am. Caesar was so strict with me. He insisted that his way... I never bought into any of that. I was more interested in the practical value of magic.
Oh, yeah!
That's just how it looked from the outside. What would any thief want with second-rate loot? I've only ever targeted I stole cheap things as a way of practicing my craft. It was other...
So, that's the story, huh? Well, I hope you...
What choice do I have? You're a pack of wolves, and you've got me between your jaws. So be it. I've enjoyed power and wealth for the last 10 years, the likes of which Caesar could never give me.
Very well. In that case, Traveler, Paimon, keep an eye on Lorenzo for me.
At least I can finally
Lily has told me the whole... Lorenzo, do you confess to the murder of Caesar and to framing him for the Phantom Weasel's crimes?
Look who's finally developed a conscience. What kind of disciple murders their own master? I hope it was worth it.
Looks like it's all over. What should we do next, Lenny? Should we...
Let me think. Let's rendezvous with Lynette and Gemma first.
Good point! We should go tell
Ah, you're back. You were so quick. I've only just finished my third dessert.
Your third? Lynette, come on, we've talked about this.
It's fine. I'll shift to exercise mode and jog off the excess sugar.
That's besides the point.
Did everything go okay?
Of course! Lorenzo was no match for us.
Gosh, that's amazing. I'm sorry. I had my suspicions about Lorenzo, but
It's okay. We understand. He did but you don't need to be scared anymore.
Sorry. I always wanted to report Lorenzo. He took all of Caesar's property, which I found suspicious. But I had people watching me all the time. I was so afraid. I was scared he'd do something terrible to me. And then, thank you all.
Thank you all for clearing Caesar's name. I never would have guessed that Lorenzo was the real Phantom Weasel. He never showed any signs that they were problem. And to think that lowlife's been living life to the fullest all this time, while Caesar's name was getting dragged through the mud. At least his soul can finally rest in...
If only I'd realized...
Don't blame yourself, Gemma.
Yeah, you...
Cheer up, Gemma. My brother's doing a magic show at the Opera House tomorrow evening. Would you like to come along? This show will be a special one. We're holding it
in Caesar's honor. Thank...
Great. We'll see you tomorrow evening.
Don't worry, we'll be there. No, where are we go? Wait, Paimon feels like we're forgetting something.
Emerge. Right now. Right here. Emerge. Right now. Right here. Right now. Right here. Huh? Emerge.
Paimon's excited to see another of Linny's magic shows!
Not this time. My brother's going south, so I'll be watching with you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The great magician Linny has prepared a spectacular...
Wow!
Thank you all so much for coming. Now, prepare to...
Exciting stuff.
Yes, it's just...
No wonder. So,
Well, I was out on this children love magic because they're willing to believe in things that can't be rationally explained. And somehow, I felt drawn to him too.
Aw, that sounds so romantic.
It was with a flower. He took it in his hand. I was so happy.
Oh, that's so cute!
Is that right? Then I suppose he... After all, you never know when the people dearest to you might be gone.
That's right. Paimon doesn't really know how to comfort you.
Right. Yes, you can breathe easy now.
See? Even when that's the Phantom Weasel! Lorenzo escaped? Where is he?
What do you mean?
As Linny once said, a performer's job is to commit fully to their role, but once the bag of tricks is empty and the curtain falls, it's tough. It's been 10 years, Gemma. Aren't you tired of the grieving widow act?
What are you talking about? Traveler, Paimon doesn't like where this is going.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope there will now be a brief intermission, after which Linny will perform. The final performance will take place outside of the Opera House, so please make your way outside in a calm and orderly...
The Phantom Weasel never did like public places, did they? Don't worry, this place will be quiet. Right now. Emerge. Right now. Emerge.
Dear me, this is awkward, isn't it? And unfortunately, I'm all out of gadgets, so this is a big mistake for a magician to make.
Linny? Lynette accused Gemma of being the real Phantom Weasel a moment ago. Oh, what the heck's going on?
All in good time. Magicians are good at guessing what people are thinking.
Really? Well...
Let's go back to the very beginning. A decade ago, when the Phantom Weasel was terrorizing the... But as her infamy grew, so did the readiness of the police, and her opportunities to act became ever fewer. Of course, she could not simply take this lying down, and before long she found her... After weighing her options, she set her sights on a renowned magician, Caesar. After all...
So, being the master deceiver she was, the Weasel easily earned Caesar's trust. Now, but as she was considering how to make her move, she noticed Caesar's aggrieved pupil, and a new thought. At her encouragement, Lorenzo tampered with Caesar's magic box, causing him to fall to his death. Afterwards, Lorenzo seized his master's property, and the Weasel set about tarnishing Caesar's reputation. Two co-conspirators committed the perfect crime.
I've got to hand it to you. But I just have one question. You seem to think that I am the—
Don't worry, Lorenzo said nothing at all. But I never believed that he was the weasel. And in fact, my investigation only made me more certain of that. He was too forthcoming with his—
How disappointing. So you'd sooner trust Lorenzo than me? Even without a shred of evidence?
A magician is an expert at playing the audience to get the result they want. And with a little help from Lorenzo, you put on a very convincing performance. The love Caesar was maligned and hated by all for 10 years, but you? Who would suspect for 1 second that the lovely young lady always seen weeping in front of Caesar's grave?
Wait, so you mean the whole intimidation? But why would Lorenzo agree to that? And why didn't he sell her out even at the end?
Yes, why indeed? Maybe Gemma herself could enlighten us on that question.
Well, Linny, if you're so confident in your version of events, then I think having killed Caesar with his own hands, Lorenzo was plagued by overwhelming guilt. Revealing the Phantom Weasel's true identity would serve no purpose. But if the Weasel remained free, then she could take care of Lorenzo's loved ones.
An excellent answer. Though sadly...
Is that right? Well, don't let me...
As a matter of fact, there's one... Why would the real Weasel have targeted things that only have value to other people?
Of course. After all, we're just... If I had to guess, I would say that the real Weasel left to fend for herself after her parents died young. Betrayed. Scorned. She'd scrounge waste paper from garbage bins to draw on, using twigs and dirt for lack of ink and pen. She'd sew ugly rag dolls from whatever... This was her only source of happiness in life. But it was all she needed, and she was content. Until the world decided that even this was too good for her. Once again, she was betrayed. And this time, everything was taken from her. She felt like life was a... This was a fate too cruel for anyone to bear. Her pain became... I detest the happiness of others, in all its forms alike. I will rob them of everything they hold to be good and true.
That's some pretty...
Now it... Does this story...
Yes, it is quite to my tastes. Thank you for helping to clear up my confusion.
Huh. That's right, because without that, none of this would have ever come to light.
She didn't write the letter.
After 10 long years, I'd hoped that the Phantom Weasel would be consigned to the... Linny. Or should I call you the Phantom Copycat now? You were the one who posted that letter outside the Opera House.
Very sharp, Phantom Weasel. Well, no need for me to be coy about it. The most straightforward way to change the public's impression of Caesar was to force the Weasel to show themselves.
That's...
Of course we did. We made it quite clear in the letter, I believe. I shall take from you that which you hold most...
10 years ago? Wait. Oh, I get it. You were those two obnoxious kids. It's been... He taught you magic back then, didn't he? For what, 10 days or something? And you went to all this trouble. Why?
We remember all our debts, however great or small. 10 years ago, Caesar's reputation was torn to shreds, and his legacy was... But we did not forget. And so we came to find you.
And? What exactly did you take from me? I'm still standing, as you can see. Lorenzo has...
Free? Caesar once told me that even though the world is filled with lies and fault, I think that applies to you too. Truth can take many forms. Life took many things from you, and those wounds never healed. when they ached
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying that for the last 10 years, you've been living a rather uneventful life. Perhaps that's because... Back to Lorenzo for a second. He murdered his own master, played along with your act, and took pains. He knew who you were and the things you'd done, and despite that, he was willing to give everything up for your sake. He's the reason that you haven't felt the You're more than just accomplices in murder. You're the only real friends each other has. But that truth is gone now. And I guarantee you...
Congratulations on your freedom, Gemma.
Your freedom will cost you dearly. From now on, you'll be all alone in a world full of lies and falsehoods.
Gather round, one and all. The time has now come for the amazing... I'm sure you're all wondering what he has planned for the grand finale.
A high-altitude escape?
I'm sure you all remember the magician Caesar. This was the very trick that led to his fatal fall. After we have now learned that Caesar was wrongly accused. And
Guess that's my cue to leave. Whew. I've been practicing this one for ages now, but I'm still a little nervous. Traveler, Paimon, I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. There may be a lot of people watching tonight, but you alone...
Lenny, wait. You two hid a lot from Caesar. He went to his grave without ever knowing your secrets. You don't have to tell lies to end up isolated and alone.
You're wrong. I'm nothing like you.
So,
Like Lenny said, when you're ready, let's head outside and watch...
But what about Gemma?
She'll figure out what's best for her soon enough. Oh.
All right. Well...
Right now. Emerge.
Magic should be mysterious, surprising, and defy logic. Magic is hard work. Every single movement has to be practiced thousands of times.
It's alright. We're used to that.
We're sorry. You've taught us so much, but we can't tell you the whole truth.
It's okay. Do you still remember what I told you? This world is full of lies and falsehoods. I only hope that one day, you can find your own truth.
What about you? Have you found your truth?
Magic is my truth. I want to perform a magic trick so great that people will always think of me when they talk about it. For a magician, what greater honor could there be?
Look! Behold! Lenny is sealed inside the box. Will he manage to escape? 10 years ago, Caesar attempted this very trick, and it was at this precise moment that...
Watch out!
Mysterious. Surprising. And logic-defying. Isn't that right? This honor belongs to you, Caesar. I'm just sorry it's a little late.
Did you see that? 1 minute he was falling, and the next, he turned into flowers.
How could he possibly have done that?
How mysterious. I didn't blink once. He just vanished. Right in front of my eyes.
What a heart-stopping magic show. This was really worth the trip. Caesar's name has finally been cleared, and Fontaine's new star magician Linny has fulfilled a wish on his behalf.
Whew. Looks like everyone really loved Linny's grand finale. Paimon doesn't see Linny anywhere. Where'd he go? Oh, Lynette said he'd be waiting for us at the usual hunt. But, oh, you mean the one where Caesar? Yeah, that's probably it. This whole magic show kinda All right, let's go look for him there.
Right now. Emerge. Right here. Right now. Right here.
Linny! Are you alright? Paimon was scared to death when the chain broke.
Magic is a performance art. A magician has to get creative to keep the audience on tenter. I was honestly a little nervous during the live performance. The thought of falling, sometimes I can't help but wonder did he regret taking Gemma and Lorenzo on?
You know, Paimon's been wanting to ask you about something ever since we were...
After I joined the House of the Hearth. To be honest, I told you about my past before, remember? As a young boy, I survived by secretly learning magic from street performance, but I quickly realized that observation alone could only get me so far. What I saw was the polished final performance. I needed to learn how to improve my sleight of hand, hone my misdirection skills, and We were gifted enough that we'd made some progress by ourselves. But without proper guidance from a professional magician,
So that's why you sought Caesar out?
Yes. We figured there was no harm in asking, but it took us by surprise. In all, we only spent 10 short days together, but he was very good to us. By contrast, we hid so many things from him. For instance, when he asked why I wanted to learn magic, but in truth, there was already a lot more to the story by then. After being taken in by... What amazed me was how the lie escaped my lips even as I was hesitant. Trust is a beautiful thing.
Linny...
Still worried about the way I feel? But don't worry, I'm used to it now. From the mansions of the elite to the house of... After Caesar went on tour, we became busy with our missions. The next we heard of him was that he'd fallen to... That night, I remembered his smile. To keep secrets is to put up walls. The longer you keep them up, the less you let people in. Then, one day, you look around and realize your life is like an empty auditorium after a show, full of seats once occupied by all the people who left. But I guess that's the price we have to pay. You only realize how much someone really meant to you when you lose them completely. That's why I was so confident this would hurt Gemma.
Yeah, cheer up, Linny. We've had to say our fair share of goodbyes, delicious food, fun toys, and the Traveler by my side. Paimon just needs to you know, Traveler, doesn't that kinda make you Paimon?
Exactly. It's the same for me and Lynette. We are the truest thing each other has in life has taken plenty from us, like it did from Gemma. But at least it left us with each other. That's why the darkness never consumed me and why it never will. Maybe we live in the shadows too, but we remember... All right, time to lighten this conversation up a little.
It was amazing! Paimon just wishes we hadn't been so distracted with the Gemma situation. Lenny?
Whoa, that's a bit of a tall order, I'm afraid. The show's just finished, so my sleeves are decidedly...
Aw, come on! Surely you can think of something.
Oh, all right then. I'll give it a go, but watch closely. I have a flower in my hand.
You liar! There's nothing in your hand! We ain't going along with this!
Huh? My goodness, you're right. But I could have sworn I brought one here with me.
3?
Now, have another look around. Maybe the flowers appeared somewhere.
Really? Let's see. Wow, there it is! Oh, this is a different, but more importantly, Paimon has to know how the trick is done.
Well, if you want to learn magic, you'll have to start by a...
Fine.
Since you asked so nicely, I'll share one little tip with you. Namely, the student of magic cannot solely...
Is that it?
Look at the time. We shouldn't linger here too long. Thanks again for coming to see my show. I look forward to seeing you again.
All right. Shall we head back down too? Oh, Paimon can't wait to read the Steambird to... Let's head to the Steambird's offices.
I'm very sorry, Charlotte, but my sister and I are quite busy.
Oh, please, Linny, I'll only take a moment if...
Huh? What's happening here?
I spent all night writing my piece about the Phantom Weasel, but just as dawn broke, I suddenly received news that Caesar's fiancée, Gemma...
That was quick.
Too late, bro. That was quick, you say? It sounds like I've got some catching up. Aha! My instincts did not lead me astray. You do have...
Maybe watching my high-altitude escape trick reminded her of a better time with Caesar, and she could no longer ignore the...
Okay, then. Wait, no, there must be more to it. Oh, I remember now. You and Gemma were in... Quickfire question! Where did you all go after...
Oh, we went to the cemetery and Linny did a private math. Actually, glad you mentioned it, because that reminds...
What? I don't recall ever having received a rainbow rose from you myself. Is this supposed to mean that they're more important to you than your own...
No, I just...
What the... What now? This is getting...
Seems like this interview wasn't meant to be. Well... Forgive my persistence, but when there's explosive news waiting to be found, I can't turn away. The news about apparently one of the things she said to the guards was that her final wish is to see Lorenzo one last time. All right, I guess I'll leave you.
Lynette?
Don't worry, I wasn't angry.
Oh, really? Oh, thank you.
You and me both, Paimon. You and me both.
Please, take good care of that rainbow rose. I'd be really upset.